Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're going to be doing a deep dive today
Okay.
into eating well as we age.
Oh, very good topic.
Yeah, it's something that, I've been thinking about a lot lately, and we have a
Yeah.
great guide from the National Initiative for the Care of the Elderly
Okay.
in Canada to help us out. And
Excellent.
I think it'll be interesting because, everybody's got a different opinion these days about
Yeah.
what's healthy.
Yeah, it feels like it's a constantly moving target, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's interesting about this guide, though, is it acknowledges that as we get older, our needs actually change.
Right.
It's not just about eating less, it's about getting the right nutrients to support those changes.
So you're saying it's not as simple as just eating less of what I ate in my 20s?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you might need more of certain things.
Oh, really?
Like protein, for instance.
Yep.
Did you know that as we age, we naturally start to lose muscle mass?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a process called sarcopenia.
Sarcopenia.
Yeah, and it can really affect our strength and our balance and our mobility.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So protein is important for preventing that muscle loss.
exactly.
Well-
It's like the building block for maintaining strength and balance and preventing those falls,
Oh.
that we often see as we get older.
Okay.
And it's not just protein either.
Right.
Calcium is important for strong bones. You need fiber to keep things moving,
Yeah.
and a whole range of vitamins and minerals to keep everything running smoothly.
Sounds like our bodies get more demanding
They do.
as we get older.
They do.
That's good to know.
And here's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
This guide also talks about all these non-food factors
Okay.
that can impact how well we eat as we get older.
Interesting.
Like, have you ever noticed that certain medications can make food taste different or even cause nausea?
Oh, yeah. My grandmother used to always say that.
Yeah, it's a really common issue.
Oh,
And then there are things like, mobility challenges that might make it tougher to get to the store or cook elaborate meals.
right.
Even something as simple as a decreased sense of thirst can lead to dehydration,
Okay.
which, of course, have all kinds of ripple effects on our health.
So it's way more than just what's on our plates
Exactly.
to think about.
Exactly. It's about understanding all these interconnected pieces
Right.
and how they affect our nutrition, and then figuring out how to adapt and support our needs as they change.
Well, this is good news because, it sounds like this guide actually has some...
It does.
It does.
It breaks down these challenges and gives us some really practical advice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay.
I'm all about
Making things easier.
one of the simplest pieces of advice, and yet one of the most powerful, is to create a regular eating schedule.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be anything fancy,
Yeah.
but even just having a few small meals or snacks throughout the day can make a difference.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just to
Yeah.
make sure you're getting enough. Exactly. And it's not just about the physical benefits either.
Oh,
Having that regular schedule, those meal times to look forward to it, actually can be good for your mental well-being.
right. It's like a
Yeah.
routine.
Exactly. And that can be really important as we age.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Especially as we get older.
Yeah.
So we're talking about self-care, like little rituals. And speaking of self-care,
Yes.
the guide also talks about the importance of food safety.
Yes.
Now, why is that a bigger deal
Well,
for older adults?
For a couple of reasons. Our immune systems naturally weaken as we age,
Okay.
so we don't fight off infections quite as well.
Right.
And on top of that, our organs, like our liver and kidneys,
Yeah.
they become less efficient at filtering out toxins.
Oh, so those things have a better chance of
Exactly.
taking hold.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be extra careful washing my fruits and veggies from now on.
Yeah. Good idea.
What about those changes in taste and smell
Yes.
that happen as we get older?
That's a really common issue.
Yeah.
My parents are starting to notice that.
And it can really make eating less enjoyable.
Yeah.
But the guide has some interesting strategies for that.
Okay.
For example, you could experiment with herbs and spices
Okay.
to add more flavor.
Yeah.
Or maybe adjust the texture of foods to make them easier to chew and swallow.
Oh, so it's all about adapting and figuring out
Exactly.
what works for you
Exactly.
individually.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Another great tip and something that I've found helpful as life's gotten busier is that cook once, eat twice idea.
Oh, yeah. That's great for saving time.
Yeah, it really is. Just having those ready-to-go meals in the fridge or the freezer can be such a lifesaver.
Yeah, and speaking of being prepared, the guy also suggests stocking up on some of those pantry staples.
Oh, absolutely.
The non-perishable stuff.
Yes. It's like having your own little food security system right there.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, having those canned goods and beans and pasta,
yeah.
all those shelf-stable things on hand.
Can really take the pressure off,
Yeah.
when you don't have the time or the energy.
Yeah. Especially if, like, you're not feeling great or
Exactly.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But what about those of us who are creatures of habit and we just eat the same things over and over again?
Oh, I hear you.
How do we make sure we're getting all the good stuff?
Well, that's where a food diary can be surprisingly helpful.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know I'm not a big tracker.
I know it sounds a little tedious, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be about counting every calorie.
Right.
It's more about just becoming aware of your patterns,
Okay.
right? So,
Mm.
maybe you notice you're not eating as many fruits and vegetables as you thought.
Right. Or too much
Yeah.
processed food or something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just having that awareness is a powerful first step.
So it's about awareness, not obsessing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And along those lines, the guide also recommends reading labels.
Oh, yeah. Those are always.
I know they can be confusing, but they're worth taking the time to decipher
Okay.
because, that's how you figure out things like
Right.
added sugar and how much sodium's in there,
Yeah.
what kind of fats they're using.
I need to get better at that.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was also really impressed with this guide's emphasis on community resources.
Yeah.
It's not just about personal responsibility. It's about,
Yeah.
like, we need some help sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are so many resources out there
Yeah.
that can make healthy eating easier and more accessible, especially as we age.
Yeah. Like, what kind of things are we talking about?
Well, things like meal delivery services,
Okay.
group meal programs, community kitchens,
Oh,
even volunteer shopping support.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like having a whole team
Yeah.
cheering you on,
Yeah.
and it can make such a difference.
I love that.
And it's not just about convenience either,
Yeah.
Social isolation is a real problem as we get older. And getting involved in these programs can be a great way to combat that.
It's like killing two birds with one stone.
Exactly. It's like getting the support you need
Yeah.
and connecting with others.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's a win-win.
We've been talking about maintaining muscle mass as we age,
Yes.
but I've always thought of that as, like, more of a vanity thing. Like, I want to look good.
Oh, it's so much more than that.
Why is it really important?
Well, think about it. Muscle mass is directly linked to your strength,
Yeah.
your balance, your mobility.
Oh, yeah.
It's about preventing those falls
Right.
that we talked about earlier.
Oh, okay.
It's about staying independent and being able to do the things you love.
I didn't realize it was so
It's
important.
just crucial.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do we actually build and maintain that muscle mass?
Well, remember how we talked about protein?
Yeah.
It's not just for athletes.
Oh.
As we get older, our bodies actually become less efficient at using the protein we get from food.
So we need more.
Yeah, we need to make sure we're getting enough to replenish those reserves.
Okay, so protein is really key.
It really is.
What are some good sources?
Well, lean meats and poultry
Okay.
and fish,
Okay.
eggs, beans, lentils, nuts, seeds,
Okay.
even dairy products.
Okay, so a good variety.
Yeah, variety is key. And make sure to include some protein in every meal and snack.
Got it. So I'm, like, giving my muscles those building blocks. They need.
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what about those medication side effects?
Yes.
You mentioned that some medications can cause, like, nausea or changes in taste.
It's true.
I imagine that makes it hard to eat healthy.
It can be a challenge for sure. And if you're experiencing that, definitely talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
Uh.
They might be able to adjust your dosage or switch you to a different medication.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. And in the meantime, remember that small, frequent meals approach.
Right.
Instead of trying to force down a big meal,
Yeah.
just focus on eating smaller portions more often. And don't be afraid to experiment with different flavors and textures.
Yeah.
See what appeals to you.
Find those loopholes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about mobility issues earlier.
Yes.
As another challenge for healthy eating.
It's a big one.
Grocery shopping and cooking can get tough
Yeah, it can be really difficult.
when you can't get around as easily.
Yeah. And that's where those community resources we talked about can be so valuable.
Right.
Meal delivery services,
Okay.
volunteer shopping, support community kitchens.
Okay.
They're not just about convenience, they're about maintaining your independence
Right.
and ensuring access to nutritious food,
Yeah.
no matter your physical limitations.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really important.
So that support network is key.
It is.
Even if you can get to the store and you have the food,
Yes.
cooking itself can be hard
It can be.
if you have mobility issues.
It can be.
Mm.
And, the guide suggests looking into adaptive tools,
Huh.
things like jar openers, non-slip mats, lightweight utensils.
Oh, okay.
Those little things can make a big difference.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, something I've never really thought about
Oh,
is that decrease in our sense of thirst as we get older.
yes, it's sneaky.
Why does that happen?
Well, it's just part of aging.
Okay.
Our body's thirst mechanism doesn't work quite as well.
So it's not just about forgetting to drink water.
Yeah, it's not just about forgetting. It's that your body might not be sending those signals as strongly.
That is scary.
It is. So we have to be proactive about it.
Okay.
Make it a habit to drink water throughout the day,
Okay.
even if you don't feel thirsty. Keep a water bottle handy.
So if I don't feel thirsty, I should still
Yes.
drink water.
Yes, make it part of your routine.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if you have bladder issues though?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
But limiting your fluid intake is actually not the answer.
Oh, okay.
Dehydration can sometimes make those problems worse.
Okay, so it's about finding that sacker.
It's about finding that balance. And, if you're having bladder issues, talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
They can help you figure out a hydration plan.
Okay, so individualized
Yeah.
care again.
Absolutely.
It seems like that's a big theme
It is.
in all this.
Yeah, it is.
Now, let's go back to that social aspect of eating that we touched on earlier.
Yes.
This guide really stresses how important it is to connect with others during meal times.
It's so important.
Yeah, I know.
I'm guilty of it too sometimes, just grabbing a quick bite in front of the TV.
Yeah,
But, studies have actually shown
yeah.
that eating with others has so many benefits,
Okay.
physically and emotionally.
Yeah,
Sharing meals can reduce those feelings of loneliness and isolation,
especially as we get older.
especially as we get older.
Yeah.
When you might be living alone
Yeah.
or have less social interaction.
Yeah, so it's like a built-in support system
It is.
right there at the table.
It is. And, it's not just about the company.
Right.
It's about the ritual of it.
Yeah,
Sharing a meal together,
yeah.
it encourages mindful eating.
Okay.
It promotes conversation.
Yeah.
It creates a sense of community.
It's nice.
It is.
It's like a little celebration.
It
You don't have
is.
to sit down.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
fancy,
Right.
It could be inviting a friend over for coffee and a snack
Yeah,
or
yeah.
joining a community meal program.
Yeah.
It's just about making that effort to connect
Right.
and share the joy of food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful sentiment.
it is.
Yeah.
Food is more than just fuel.
Right.
It really is that social glue that brings us together.
That's great.
And, that connection can be such a powerful force in healthy aging.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned earlier
Yes.
the importance of maintaining muscle mass.
Yeah.
And,
And I think it's worth
oh,
diving a little deeper into
I was
that.
going to say, I've heard that strength training is good for that.
It's one of the most effective ways to build and maintain muscle, especially as we age.
So it's not just about cardio.
Well, cardio is great for your heart health,
Right.
but strength training is what really helps build those muscles.
Okay. So I need to be hitting the weights too.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, it involves using resistance,
Okay.
like weights or resistance bands,
Yeah. Okay.
to challenge your muscles
Okay.
and help them grow stronger.
Now, what if you haven't exercised in a while or you have like health issues or something?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor
Okay.
before starting any new exercise program,
Right.
especially if you have any health concerns.
Okay.
They can help you determine what's safe and effective for you.
Good to know. It's
Yeah.
always good to get that medical guidance.
It is.
This guide also mentions the importance of knowing your daily calorie needs.
Yes.
Is that something we need to be like obsessing over?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's not about rigidly counting every calorie.
Yeah.
It's about having a general awareness of your intake
Right.
and making sure it aligns with your energy expenditure.
So it's about being in tune with your body.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's where those tools like food diaries and label reading can be helpful,
Okay.
right? They
Yeah.
can help you become more mindful
Yeah.
of your eating habits.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's also important to acknowledge the emotional side of eating,
Oh, that's interesting.
which can become more complex as we age.
Yeah, we talked about the social benefits
Yes.
of connecting with others.
Yes.
But what about just our own personal relationship with food?
Yeah, our emotions can play a huge role in our eating habits, especially as we get older.
Okay.
Maybe we're dealing with grief or loneliness or boredom or stress.
Right.
All those things can influence our food choices.
So it's not just about what we eat, but why we eat.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about developing a healthy relationship with food
Right.
that goes beyond just fueling our bodies.
Yeah.
It's about finding joy in eating, honoring our hunger cues, and being kind to ourselves.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's like another layer of self-care.
It is.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's about recognizing that, our nutritional needs might change over time.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
The key is to listen to your body,
Right.
be open to trying new things,
Yeah.
and finding what works best for you.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. So are you ready to hear about what this guide actually recommends?
Yes. Let's get into the specifics.
All right.
I'm ready. All right. Let's unlock the secrets to this healthy aging diet.
Okay, well, they start with a big emphasis on fiber,
Okay.
and for good reason.
Yeah.
It's like a superhero for your digestive system.
Okay.
Helps with everything from regularity to cholesterol levels.
I'm all about regularity. So tell me,
Yeah.
how do we get more fiber?
Well, whole grains are a fantastic source.
Okay.
Think brown rice, quinoa, oats.
Yeah.
Easy swaps for their refined counterparts.
So ditch the white bread and pasta.
Exactly.
Okay.
And don't forget about fruits and veggies.
Right.
Those colorful additions to your plate aren't just pretty.
Yeah.
They're packed with fiber.
Okay. So we're talking rainbow salads and stuff.
Yes, lots of color.
Yeah.
And beans and lentils.
Okay.
Those are like fiber powerhouses.
Really?
Yeah, budget-friendly, versatile, full of protein too.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
So we're talking whole grains, fruits, veggies, beans, lentils.
Yes.
Got it.
All right, what else healthy fats?
Oh.
I know the word fat can be a little intimidating,
It can be.
but these are the good guys.
Okay.
They're essential for brain health, heart health.
Okay.
They even help us absorb certain vitamins.
Not all fats are created equal.
Definitely not. We want to prioritize the ones found in things like avocados,
Okay.
olive oil, nuts, and seeds,
Yeah.
fatty fish like salmon.
So avocado toast is healthy?
In moderation, absolutely.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
all about balance. And speaking of things we need to balance, the guide also talks about limiting salt intake.
Yeah, I've heard that too much salt is hard on our hearts as we get older.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our bodies become more sensitive to sodium as we age,
Okay.
and that can lead to high blood pressure and other issues.
So less salt, more flavor. How do we make that happen?
Herbs and spices are your secret weapons.
Okay.
They add a burst of flavor without the sodium overload.
Okay. Good tip.
Experiment with garlic, onions, ginger, all sorts of herbs.
Hmm.
The possibilities are endless.
I like it. Healthy eating doesn't have to be bland.
No, it doesn't.
All right. What about those white foods that the guide mentions?
Ah, yes, another way of saying refined carbs.
Okay.
Those are the foods that have been stripped of their nutrients and fiber,
Right.
like white bread, white rice, sugary cereals.
Yeah.
They can cause those energy spikes and crashes
Right.
that we want to avoid.
Okay. So we're going for those smart carbs.
Exactly. Whole grains, fruits, veggies, legumes.
Okay.
Low-fat dairy.
Got-
Yeah. And speaking of things we need to be mindful of as we age, hydration.
Right. We talked about this earlier, but why is it especially important as we age?
Well, our sense of thirst naturally declines,
Okay.
and our kidneys become less efficient at conserving water.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's a double whammy.
So what are some signs that we're dehydrated?
Well, of course, feeling thirsty is a key one.
Yeah.
But also look out for things like dry mouth fatigue, dizziness, even confusion.
Wow. I didn't realize it could have so many effects.
The guide recommends aiming for 8 or more glasses of water or other fluids each day.
So water is best.
Water is always a good choice.
What about like coffee and tea?
They can count towards your fluid intake,
Okay.
but it's important to remember that caffeine can act as a diuretic.
Right. So it can dehydrate you.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
everything in moderation.
Okay. Good advice.
Yeah. Now, one last thing I wanted to touch on. The guide mentions vitamin D,
Yes.
especially important for older adults.
Why is that?
Well, vitamin D is crucial for calcium absorption, which is essential for maintaining strong bones.
Right. To prevent osteoporosis.
Exactly. And it also plays a role in supporting our immune systems.
So it's really important.
It really is.
Right. Yeah.
We can get some vitamin D from sunlight,
Okay.
but our skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight to vitamin D as we age.
Interesting.
So it's important to include good food sources in our diets.
Like what?
Things like fatty fish eggs and fortified foods.
Okay. And I know that the Canadian Food Guide even recommends a daily supplement for older adults, right?
Yes, it's an easy way to make sure you're meeting your needs.
Okay. Good to know.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to emphasize that this is just a starting point.
Okay.
Healthy eating is a journey,
Mm-hmm.
not a destination.
I like that.
It's not about perfection.
Right.
It's about progress.
It's about finding what works for you.
Exactly.
individually.
Your individual needs and preferences.
Well, this has been so informative.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I feel like I have a much better understanding now of how to approach food as I get older.
It's been a good reminder that we have so much power to influence our own health
Absolutely.
through the choices we make.
And all this great information comes from the National Initiative for the Care of the Elderly in Canada.
Yes.
We'll be sure to include a link to their website in the show notes,
Excellent.
so you can check out even more of their resources.
Great idea.
All right, well, that's a wrap on this deep dive into healthy eating as we age.
Thank you for having me.
It was great having you. We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic. Until then, bon appetit.